Channel, guys. I'm gonna be sharing another problem with Facebook. They have asked, and like I mentioned before, I'm gonna be sharing a couple of more problems that had been shared in Facebook. um, so the problem, let's start the problem. The problem is, given an array of points where point I is equals to xi and yi, and they represents a point on the x or y plane and an integer k. So we have array of x and y, right? And we have an integer k. So return the k closest point to the origin 0 0. So whichever is closest, that's what we need to return. So there's gonna be array. Inside that array we're gonna have arrays. The distance between 2 points on the x and y is the Euclidean distance, which means square root of these two into 2. Then we have to add that, and then addition of these two into 2. So it's a matrix problem, right? Now you may return the answer in any order, so order doesn't matter. Answer is guaranteed to be unique, except for the order that it is in. Okay, now let's take an example to understand this problem more better. So the input is going to look like this. So we're going to have an array. This is the array, right? And then it has arrays inside. So this is a matrix. So this is x1 and y1, and then this is x2 and y2, and the k is the integer that has been given to us. So we need to find out which pair is closest to the k. So here for this, the expected answer is this. The distance between 1 and 3 and the origin is square root 10. It's like this is the formula that we have to follow, and if the result is maximum, whichever has a minimum result, so we have to take that result that's the closest, like here. So we take the square root of 8, which is less than 10, so obviously we have to return this pair, and this pair is the one which is closer to the origin. So we only want the closest k equals to 1, in this case points from the origin, so that's why the answer is that. Similarly, so this was 1, and with the two of these, this is another example with 3 arrays, and then the k value is 2, which means we gotta be returning 2 values, not 1, right? Which is gonna be closest. So here we're gonna do the same thing. We're gonna get the square root of these two, and then square root of the other one, and then we have to compare, turn the minimum. So if k says 2, then we have to return, if k says 2, then we have to return 2 out of these 3, right? So that's why the output has 2. So let's start the problem. So it's our, so this is given. So we have 2 arrays. I'm taking the first example. We'll take a look at this example later on. So we have these 2, and the integer is k, the kth point, and then here's the method that we have to take a look at. So I'm creating an empty close array, and then this is gonna be the array's length, and then this is the distance. So I'm creating this another distance array. I'm gonna go through the loop first. I'm gonna run the first loop, go through the length, and then get the x and y together, and then get this calculated, added, and put it in the distance uh, array, right? And now after putting them in here, I'm actually sorting them so that it's easy to compare, and I'm trying to avoid utility methods as much as I can. And this is the one that is going to find the kth distance. So k, whatever k we have, minus 1, right? And that's what we're gonna get here. So k minus 1 is gonna be 0. So at the 0, whatever the distance has on the 0, that's gonna be the minimum for now. And then this is gonna print all the distance which are smaller than kth distance. Okay, so we're gonna have another loop here. We're gonna be going through the loop again for the x and y, calculating the distance here, x into x and y into y, and then we're gonna see if this value is less than the one we calculated before, the one that is there in the distance array at the 0 position. Is the new next one has more, they are lesser than this, the one we calculated before. If so, or if it's equals to, if so, then we're gonna be printing this. I'm printing here the counter, which is not necessary. This is a counter um, that we actually needed for this final array that we have to return the pairs. So this is for my reference, but we don't need it. So after that, now this distance is lesser than the one we have in the distance 0. We sorted that already, so it means then this is the one we need. This is a pair that we need to return, so we add that pair x and y to the final array at the counter, and counter here is 0, so it's going to be 0 position. So I'm going to be incrementing counter here so that it will go next, and if it found something, then it's going to be placing that new value at the next position, not at the 0, and that's where I'm going to be returning the um, array. So let's run this and see if we are able to print. So the expected answer for this, like we have it here, it's gonna be -2 and 2, right? So let's see if it prints that, and here you go. So it's able to find that pair, and then it's able to return that pair here, and then it's printing that pair there. Okay, there are another approaches I was trying, like when you wanted to use some of the um, inbuilt methods that looks, that makes your life more easy if you want to use it, but I try to keep the code at without using any utilities as much as I can, because that helps a lot in the interviews, because sometimes some um, interviewers, they do ask sometimes, like, what exactly happening under the cover of this method. So if you are calling a static method or utility method, what exactly is going on under the cover, so how that is working. So now it's gonna make you now you are getting diverted from your question, because that's no longer question related to your problem that you're trying to solve. Is going to make you waste more time, and you're going to end up explaining, or if you know, it doesn't matter, even if you know quickly, you are wasting your time, right? So that's what I found so far, that better not to use the utilities, because the more utilities you're going to have, more questions they're going to ask, and you're gonna end up explaining more, and you're gonna end up losing time. So that's why this is the approach I have. This approach, I mean, the sorting, I'm not doing inbuilt. I'm doing inbuilt sorting because this is something common, and they do ask. Sometimes they do ask you to swap, to create a swap method where you're gonna be doing the sorting. But most of the time, they do agree to that. For things like sorting or comparisons using comparator, for these kind of things you can actually use it, and they do know how this is working, but they actually main focus on the problem. But if you're gonna end up using the other utilities like maths and all, or integers, values of, they're gonna start asking you more questions on that. That's my experience so far. More videos are there to come. I'm gonna be keep looking and asking around my colleagues and friends, and try to gather more and more information regarding Facebook questions. And I'm gonna be posting them here. Keep subscribe my channel, and hit the bell button so you guys will get the notification as soon as I upload the new videos. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks for supporting. Thank you. Bye.